All right, y'all, it's storming outside, but the market is going up and up and up every single month in Austin. Let's talk about it. What's going on, y'all? It's Mason Bleasdell, your Austin real estate agent, and it is storming like crazy outside with some very much needed rain. So we're just grabbing some Wi-Fi at Whole Foods for this month's update, looking back at some of the sold statistics from March. We're gonna talk about those. We're gonna talk about some current market stats for what we saw in the last 7 days, as well as just give some of my thoughts on what's turning out to be the craziest market that myself, all the other agents I speak with, have seen probably since 2021. So let's jump right into it, and let's start off looking at the last 7 days, because this is going to be the absolute best indicator for what we're going to see next month. And it's been a really, really strong one. Multiple offers are back. One of my own listings we put live on Friday has multiple offers on it. It's just a really, really strong market. So in the last 7 days, looking back, we're seeing 1,442 new listings. Again, that's up. We are entering into spring selling season, so this is very much expected as of this time. During that same week, we saw 1,087 homes go pending. Again, fairly normal for about this time. And during that same time frame, as a good data point, 1,297 homes went pending. This is considerably up from January, February, and of course March as well from what we've been looking at. We are getting into that selling season, typically speaking, after spring break. That's when we start to see a pretty good increase in just the volume of homes going on the market. A lot of people wait till, school gets out, of course, to make that transition. So selling now, closing in about 30 days. Most schools get out at the end of March. That timeline all lines up. And from my experience too, most people tend to not procrastinate on this one. Redfin actually put out an interesting stat saying that April 14th is actually the most ideal date to list based on percent of list price, sales price data that they have. This is nationwide, as well as the volume of buyers searching. So pretty interesting. We, of course, are very, very close to that date now, and we've definitely seen that in the market. But let's talk about some March stats. So again, all these statistics are the entire Austin MLS. So Austin and all of its suburbs. We can get a little bit more specific. Reach out personally if you're curious about your neighborhood. For March 2024, we saw 2,956 homes closed, pretty significantly up from what we saw in January and February. The average sales price is also up to $557,863. The average of percent of list price and sales price is also up. The average home's only selling for about 1% off of the listing price. Again, average. Some of the suburbs are getting hit a little bit harder. Austin's actually holding really, really strong. So if you're curious again about what more that means, reach out. Average price per square foot is up a few dollars as well to $261, and the average days on market is down almost 10 days. So again, like I was talking about, we're seeing a really, really strong buyer pool. I think rates have just become normal again. Obviously, the pricing has corrected quite a bit from what we saw in the peak. Here we are. Looking at this one also, medians. Again, this is a really good way to judge as far as including the suburbs goes. Median sales price up about $10,000 at $439,000. Median percent list price sales price at 98 remain the same. Median price per square foot up as well to $223, and the median days on market down pretty substantially. This is the most interesting in my opinion, from 47 days in February down to 36. So again, market strong. There's so many more buyers out there shopping. Now let's look back and compare that to March of 2023. Looking back a year ago, again, at this point, prices have pretty well corrected, but we're seeing stronger stats today than we saw back then. Now, the volume of homes closed then was 3,146, so pretty strong volume. Average sales price lower than where we are now at $548,000. Average percent list price, sales price, almost the same what we're seeing now at 97.3. We're at 97.8 currently. Average days on market at 70, so pretty substantially higher than right now. We also saw median sales price at $337, and the median days on market also higher than what we're seeing now at 42. All in all, this gives a pretty clear picture that kind of what me and all my agent colleagues are talking about, really seeing a big uptick in the number of showings and such really is holding true. It's interesting to see just how much stronger we are than last year. Real estate, of course, is a percentages game, so even being a couple of percentage up is a really, really good thing, especially after the roller coaster that we've been on for the past 3-4 years. Really, really interesting. So if you think about selling, this spring summer market I think is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be the best one we've seen since 2021 when interest rates were bottomed out. If you're thinking about buying, it depends on where you're looking. I would fully go into like Austin, for example, city of Austin. If it's a really good house, it's very likely going to have multiple offers on it, and they are going to sell really quick. You kind of have to get out there and hustle right now. If you're in the suburbs, there's still a lot of inventory available. We just went under contract this last week with a buyer. Again, we got a $20,000 discount on a $500,000 home from the builder, but that also was $15,000 on top of that in closing cost credit that they're gonna use towards their rate buy down. So if you're looking around, Leander, some of those farther out suburbs, there's definitely some opportunity out there for some really good deals. Builders are also holding back a little bit of inventory I've seen lately, trying to really push the ones that they're marketing. For example, that house was not listed. We went out to look at the same floor plan on a different lot, and they were like, hey, we have this one, after they weren't super interested. So, just FYI, if you're thinking of especially new construction or out in the suburbs, there's some really good opportunity, but City of Austin is just on fire. So if you're curious what this means for you, you want to chat a little bit more about it, reach out anytime. Mason Bleasdell, love to chat with you about this and what this more specifically means for you. I've also got a lot of coming soon listings of all price points. So if you're curious about some of those, reach out as well. I'd be super happy to connect you on them. But thanks for watching on this week. I'll see y'all next month.